ముందు తలదించుకుని బ్రతకడం చూడాలనుకుంటున్నావా? ఇంకా అక్కని అత్తారింటికి పంపించి అప్పుడప్పుడు దాన్ని చూసి రావడము.
For 19 JRTP. So today I'm going to tell you some questions that they are going to ask very frequently in the interview. So the first question that they are going to ask in the interview, tell me about yourself. The first question that they are going to ask you, tell me about yourself. Now, guys, whenever they ask about tell me about yourself, you need to explain your professional summary. You need to explain your professional summary. Okay? And you need to explain about your company details. Your company details. And your technical expertise. Your technical skills. Also, you need to explain as part of this question. Tell me about yourself. You need to say your professional summary. That means what are the things that you have done in your professional career, those things that you need to understand. Your company details, in which company your total experience, in which company you are working, from when you have started journey with this company, current company, and what are the technologies that you need to know that you can explain as part of this question. The next question that they are going to ask, explain about your project. Explain about your project. Now, in this question, for this question, you need to explain project info, project information like name, client. Okay, that information you need to explain. Then project description like what are the plans and plans conditions that we need to explain in the description. Purpose of the project purpose, and the plans, insurance plans and plans conditions that you need to explain. Then you need to explain project architecture, what are the project architecture and modules, your involvement, modules that you have involved, modules that you got involved, modules that you got involved. These things that you need to explain as part of project. So what is the project? My project is IHIS. This project we are developing for USA state called New Jersey. It is a state government project. The main purpose of this project is to provide fully integrated health insurance system for New Jersey state citizens. So this application is an intranet application. Citizens should go to nearest DHS office to apply for the plans. In the DHS office, case workers will be available. Case workers will use this application. Citizens can apply for the plans by taking the help of the case worker. In this project, we have several modules like admin module, AR module, DC module, admin module, DC module, admin module, DC module, right? And ED module, correspondence module, benefit issuance module, okay? And we'll go for reports module. Like that, there are several modules are available. Okay, fine guys. Right now, so after completion of this, then they will ask you a question. What are the challenges you have faced? What are the challenges you have faced in your current project? What are the challenges that you have faced in your current project? Getting my point? Now, here you can explain about correspondence batch processing to correspondence batch processing performance issue. So as a developer, the most of the times we will face the problems with the performance issues in our application. The application is taking more time to execute. Now we have seen for every citizen we have to send the notices from our application. For that, we have developed a correspondence module. For every citizen, we have to send the notices. To send the notices, we are using this correspondence module. Correspondence module is executing the notices one after other, one after other. It is taking lot of time to process the notices, so client is not happy because our batch is not able to complete all the notices in the same day. That is one of the difficult performance issue we have faced. Then solution implemented multi-threading to improve the performance. So problem you need to tell and the solution also you have to tell. Implemented multi-threading scenario. Implemented multi-threading concept to improve performance with parallel processing. With parallel processing. So what are the challenges you have faced in your project? Correspondence batch processing performance issue. Correspondence batch processing to generate the notices. To generate notices, this is one of the challenging thing that we have faced in the project, because the batch is taking more time to process all the pending triggers. So we get only 2 hours of time in a day. Within 2 hours of time, my batch is not able to process all the notices which are in the pending. That is one of the challenging thing I have faced in my project, because the code is correct, code is executing, notices are getting processed, but they are getting processed very slowly. They are getting processed very slowly. So the performance issue I have faced, that is one of the most challenging thing I have faced. And next one, implemented multi-threading to improve performance with the parallel processing. That is the one of the challenging thing. And next one, what is the another challenging thing that we have faced? What is the another challenging thing that you have faced? You can say that production fixes that we need to do. So now the pressure will be there whenever we get a production issue. Production issue means then now production fixes production. So we have migrated legacy application data. We have migrated legacy application data into this application. Hence we got some data errors. That means before we are developing this application in the Java, that application was developed by using mainframes. So existing before this project developed, government already providing the plans with a legacy application called mainframes application. So whatever the existing citizens data available in the mainframes, that data migration we have done into our latest application database. So as the data got migrated from one database to another database, we got some data issues. So because of those data issues, we got some production errors. So we got a lot of pressure in order to fix the production issues. That is also one of the challenging thing I have faced in my project. So these are the real problems I have faced in my career in the IHIS application, guys. Correspondence batch I have developed that was executing one by one. So it took a lot of time to process all the pending triggers. So client is not happy with that. To overcome those problems, we have implemented multi-threading so that we are able to process the triggers parallelly. Hence, within 2 hours of time, we are able to complete the processing of all the pending triggers. Performance issue is the problem. Multi-threading is the solution for that. And the second challenging thing I have faced in the project is this project, guys, previously, before this IHIS developed, so that government is having a project in the mainframes to provide the benefits for the citizens. Mainframes application is available to provide the benefits for the citizens. Now, mainframes is a legacy system, so that's why they migrated to IHIS using Java. IHIS with Java. Now already some citizens are getting the benefits from the mainframes application, which is a legacy application in the state. Before IHIS also, people are getting the benefits from the state, New Jersey state. So government is managing the citizens' data by using mainframes application. So these people are going to access this. Citizens case workers are going to access this application. This mainframes application is giving the benefits for the state citizens. but mainframes is a IBM legacy technology. IBM also told that mainframes is outdated. We are not going to support for the any issues available in the mainframes. Now that's why what the government has thought, our application is in the mainframes now. That application is getting outdated. We need to migrate this application to some latest technology. So they migrated this application to Java. Now in our Java we have the database. Java application we are having a database. So whatever the data, whatever the citizens which are already registered in this application in the mainframes, who are getting the benefits from the mainframes, now what we have done, now whenever we develop a new project, can we delete the old customers data? Guys, whenever a new project is developed, can we delete old customers data? Are we going to delete old customers data? Or you have to maintain the old customers data also? Guys, I'm asking a question. Project is earlier developed by using mainframes. Citizens are getting the benefits from the mainframes. As mainframes is outdated, now we are going for, as mainframes outdated, now we are going for Java. So when we come to the Java, are you going to delete these citizens who are getting the benefits and you will take the only new citizens data, or you need to support for the old customers also? When your project is migrated, we need to support the old customers, or we don't need to support the old customers? We need to support the old customers also. So that's where data migration happened for our project. That means the citizens who are getting the benefits from the mainframes application, those citizens data is migrated to our new database. The old citizens data is migrated to our new database. This is called data migration. That means the data is available in which one database is migrated to another database. In that scenario, we will get some data issues. These are the real problems that I have seen in this project. In the IHIS project, data migration happened. So previously, before this IHIS Java application developed, the New Jersey state is using a mainframes application to provide the benefits for the citizens. Now, mainframes got outdated. That's why that New Jersey state created a new project in the Java with the microservices architecture. So when the Java project, it took almost 7 to 8 years of time to develop this Java project. Once this Java project completed, then everything they want to manage all the plans from the IHIS only, because they want to collapse this mainframes system. It is outdated. Now, before going to collapse the mainframes system, they have migrated the data from the mainframes system to IHIS database. There we got some data issues. Because of the data issues, we got the errors in the production. So we got lot of pressure from the client to fix the production issues. That is one of the challenging thing I have faced in the project. So can you say these two are the challenges that you have faced in the project? Can you say these are the two challenges that you have faced in the project, guys? So definitely they are going to ask this question. What are the challenges you have faced in your project? Batch processing performance issue is one of the challenging thing, and the data migration from one database to another database, due to some data errors we got. Some columns data we expected, but that columns data not migrated properly. Few tables or columns not updated properly. We are expecting some data in the columns, but that data is not updated properly. As the columns data is missing, we got some issues in our code, because my code is expecting some column data, that the column doesn't have the data after migration. Then I got the issue in my code. Like that we got some production issues. Those issues we have fixed. These are the challenges we have faced in our project. Next one, they will ask you a question. What are the design patterns you have implemented in your project? What are the design patterns you have implemented in your project? What are the design patterns you have implemented in your project? Now, can you tell me what are the design patterns that we have implemented in our project? Guys, can you tell me what are the design patterns that we have implemented in our project? What are the design patterns we have implemented in our project? We have implemented, the very first thing is we have implemented MVC design pattern. We are following MVC design pattern to develop our applications, model view controller. We are going to follow that MVC pattern to develop our application. In the Spring framework, every bean will be considered as singleton bean. So we are using singleton design pattern, and we are using factory design pattern. Factory design pattern means, are you creating the objects for the beans, or you are asking IOC to create the objects? Are you creating the objects for the beans in the project? IOC container creating the beans for the classes IOC is going to create. That is a factory design pattern. MVC design pattern we are using to implement the project with layered architecture. MVC design pattern we are using to develop our project with layered architecture. Singleton design pattern we are using to make sure only one object will be created for the bean in the entire project. Factory design pattern, so we are going to take the help of the IOC container to create the objects. Now next one, front controller design pattern. Front controller design pattern. So we are using dispatcher servlet in the Spring, which is going to act as a front controller for our application. Every request will go to that front controller and to process. Even we have the API gateway. API gateway is also act as a front controller. API gateway also acts as a front controller. We are using front controller design pattern in our application. Okay. Next one, we have used cache design pattern. We have used cache design pattern. Now, whenever there is a static data in our application, we are going to implement the cache in our application. I don't want to interact with the database every time to retrieve the static data. I don't want to interact with the database to retrieve the static data again and again, because if I retrieve the data for first time, if I retrieve the data same day, if I execute the query one time, or if I execute the query for 10 times, the data is going to be same. If I execute the data, if I execute the query for first time, or if I execute the query for 10 times also, I'm going to get the same data again and again. When the data is the same, then why we need to retrieve the data from the database every time? So for that purpose, we are going to use cache design pattern. Cache is used to reduce number of round trips between our Java application and database. Cache design pattern we are using. Redis cache we have seen. Redis cache we are implementing in our project so that we can reduce number of round trips between our Java application and database, which will improve performance of our application. Next one is front controller. Now we are using API gateway. API gateway is going to act as a front controller. So before sending the request to the backend API, first the request will be received by API gateway. That API gateway will execute some pre-processing logic and post-processing logic. That can be called as a front controller. And one more thing, we are using dispatcher servlet. In the Spring Web MVC, controllers are available. The request will go to the controller directory, or request will go to the dispatcher servlet first in the Spring based applications. In the Spring Web MVC application, we are creating the REST controllers. Whenever a request comes, that request will go to the REST controller directly. The request will not go to the REST controller directly. Guys, request will go to the REST controller directly, or request will not go to the REST controller directly. Come on. Request will not go to the REST controller directly. Request will go to dispatcher servlet. Dispatcher servlet is going to act as a REST controller. In the front controller, you can say dispatcher servlet is acting as a front controller, and we can say API gateway is also acting as a front controller. API gateway. Dispatcher servlet is going to act as a front controller in the Spring Web MVC, and the API gateway also is going to act as a front controller in the Spring Web MVC, and the cache design pattern. Similarly, we have used builder design pattern. Builder design pattern is nothing but we are building the object as per our requirement. Web client object we are creating, web client dot create. For that web client we are setting the URI, we are setting the request type, response type, all the details we are setting. That is called as a builder design pattern. Okay, what are the design patterns you have implemented in your project? We have implemented MVC design pattern, singleton design pattern, factory design pattern, front controller design pattern, cache design pattern, builder design pattern, and strategy design pattern. Strategy design pattern. Strategy design pattern means we are going to use the interfaces instead of the classes directly. Now, when we are going for the service, are you creating the service IMPL directly, or we are creating a service interface first? We are creating the service interface first. That interface objects we are going to inject into controller for loosely coupling. That is called strategy design pattern. Instead of going for the inheritance, we are going for the composition. The composition we are using with the interfaces. We are using composition without interfaces. Now, if you go to any of our API, for example, if you take the user management API, if you go for the user management API, now if you come to the REST controller, now in the REST controller, I want to talk to service. In order to talk to the service, am I extending the properties from the service, or I am injecting the service? Am I using inheritance, or am I using composition? Guys, can you tell me? Composition. I am using composition. Using the composition instead of the inheritance is one of the principle in the strategy design pattern. Are you getting my point? So if one class wants to talk to another class, we have two options. One is a composition and another one is the inheritance. Here, strategy design pattern is telling that if you want to talk from one class to another class, then better to go for composition. Okay, that composition I am doing through interface, or that composition I am doing through implementation class. In the REST controller, I'm injecting a service interface. I'm injecting service IMPL. I'm injecting service interface, or I'm injecting service IMPL. Come on. I am using composition with interfaces I am doing. This is called strategy. Composition with interfaces. Composition with interfaces for loosely coupling. I am doing composition with interfaces for loosely coupling. That is one of the principle called strategy design pattern. Singleton means by default every Spring Bean is a singleton bean only. Only one object will be created. Factory means objects will be created by using IOC container. Internally, IOC container is making our Spring Bean as a singleton by default. Singleton means only one object will be created. Factory means you don't need to create the object whichever is required for you. IOC container is creating the object and giving the object for you. That means it is internally following factory design pattern. It is internally following factory design pattern. Are you clear with this? Our application is a backend application with REST API. Views are not available. We have views in the Angular, right? View is Angular. Controller is our REST API. Controllers, REST controllers plus Angular views. That is MVC design pattern only. In our REST API, views are not available. In our REST API, views are not available. REST API giving the data is displaying by the Angular view. So that is MVC design pattern. MVC design pattern, controllers, models, view. View is available in the Angular. Controller is available in the boot application. The data is exchanging between the Angular application and boot application in the form of some model format, JSON data. Singleton means by default every Spring Bean is a singleton scope. That means only one object will be created. Factory means we are not creating the objects which are required for us. We are taking the objects from the IOC. IOC is a factory for our objects. Whatever the classes you create in the application, IOC container is going to create the objects for all the classes, and you are going to just take the object from the IOC and you are going to use. IOC is acting as a factory for us. IOC is acting as a factory for us. We are not creating the object which is required for us. IOC creating the object, and we are getting the object from the IOC and we are using that object. Front controller means which is responsible to perform pre-processing and post-processing. In the Spring Web MVC, dispatcher servlet is going to act as a front controller. So whenever you send a request to the REST API, the request will go to front controller, then that front controller will access your REST controller. And similarly, when you go for the microservices architecture, API gateway will be available. The request will not go to your backend APIs directly. The request will go to API gateway. API gateway will contain the filters logic and routings logic. API gateway will decide which request should go to which API. That API gateway, we can say it is acting as a front controller for our backend application. API gateway and dispatcher servlet, we can say that they are acting as a front gateway for our application, front controllers. Factory design pattern example. Factory design pattern, we are getting object from IOC. That is the example for factory. IOC is acting as a objects factory for us. Now, I am representing my class as a Spring Bean. So, are you creating the object for the Spring Bean, or you are only getting the object for the Spring Bean? You are just getting the object for the Spring Bean. Now, login REST controller is there. User service is available. Are you creating the object for the service class manually to call the service class methods? Are you creating the object for the service class to call the methods of the service? No. Who is creating the object? IOC is creating the object. You are getting the object from the IOC. That means IOC is following as a fact. IOC is acting as a factory. You are getting the objects from the IOC factory. That's it. That is an example of factory design pattern. MVC design pattern, singleton design pattern, factory design pattern, front controller design pattern, cache design pattern, builder design pattern, strategy design pattern. Sir, where we are following the builder design pattern? Now, if one REST API want to talk to another REST API, we are using REST template and web client. So web client, can you create the object for the web client directly? You need to create the web client object by setting the details. You are going to create the object. Can I create the object for the web client directly like this? Web client is equal to new web client. Can I create the object for the web client directly like this, guys? Is it possible? Is it possible to create the object for the web client directly? No. It is not possible because web client is an interface. Web client is a interface. We cannot create the object for the web clients directly. We cannot create the objects for the web client directly. Then what we are going to do? We are going to create web client dot create. That means who is building the object? Am I creating the object directly, or I am constructing the object with them some details? Web client object I have created. Client dot set, client dot get dot URI, the REST endpoint URL. Okay, dot retrieve, dot body to mono, string dot class, dot subscribe. Do you remember we have implemented this code? Web client, which is used to access another REST API. which is used to access another REST API. So you can create the REST template or you can create the web client for the external service communication. If one REST API want to talk to another REST API, third party REST API, then we need to go for REST template or web client. Am I directly creating the object of the web client or I am building the object for the web client? I am building the object for the web client. If you are constructing a object like this with the details, then we can say it is a builder design pattern. We are building the object according to our requirement. We are building the object according to our requirement. Strategy design pattern means we are developing our classes with loosely coupling by using composition with the interfaces. Using the composition, using the interfaces are the primary rules of the strategy design pattern to achieve loosely coupling. Are you guys clear with my point? What are the design patterns that we can say? Are you guys clear with that? What are the design patterns we are using in our project? MVC design pattern, singleton design pattern, factory design pattern, front controller design pattern, cache design pattern, builder design pattern, strategy design pattern. And we can say observable design pattern, Apache Kafka, observable design pattern. When some message comes to the Kafka topic, then we can take that message immediately and we can send it. We can send it. Yes, Rituraj. Strategy design pattern means which is used for loosely coupling. If one class wants to talk to another class, I can extend the properties by using inheritance, but I'm not doing that. I'm going for composition. Directly I can inject the implementation class here. Can I implement like this directly? Is it possible? Can I inject a service IMPL class directly into the REST controller? Technically, is it possible or not? Not possible. Why not possible? Can I inject one class object into another class? Can I inject one class object into another class? Possible. But is it recommended? Is it recommended? Recommended or not recommended? Not recommended. Why not recommended? My class is directly talking to another class, tightly coupled. So that's why what I will do, I will use interface. Then it is loosely coupled. These are the strategy design pattern principles. If one class wants to talk to another class, don't go for inheritance, go for composition. Don't talk to implementation classes directly, go to interfaces so that your classes will be loosely coupled. That is the strategy design pattern. That is the strategy design pattern. Now, observable design pattern. Observable design pattern nothing but we will be observing particular area. If something happened, if some trigger happened, then immediately we are going to take the action. Now, here, observable design pattern, that means doing the action based on some event. That is called observable design pattern. Now, in our application, we are having data collection. We are having data collection. Okay. Now see here, DC module is available, which is used to collect the data from the citizen. DC module is available, which is used to collect the data from the citizen. While the data is collecting, citizens are going to provide the details like whenever we are collecting the data, in our application we have collected citizen income data, citizen property income data, citizen education data, citizen kids data. So whatever they are telling, we are taking that data. But where are the proofs for that? They will say that their salary is only $100. What is the proof? His salary is only $100. He will say that his date of birth is so and so date and so year. What is the proof for his date of birth? He will say that he is graduated. What is the proof for the graduation? So whenever you are collecting the data, you need to collect the proofs, or you no need to collect the proofs from the citizen. Guys, whenever you are collecting the data from the citizen in the data collection, do we need to collect the proofs for the data, or we don't need to collect the proofs for the data? Need to collect the proofs. For example, when the citizen told that my date of birth is so and so date and so year, do we need to ask birth certificate? How you will verify the date of birth? By using birth certificate. How we will verify the income? By using employment payslip. How you will verify graduation? By using graduation certificate. So we need to collect the data from the citizens. Citizens should provide the data along with the proofs. DC is used for data collection. DC is used for data collection. Citizens should provide the data. Citizens should provide the data with the proofs. Citizens should provide the data with the proofs. What are the proofs? Birth certificate, SSN card, birth certificate, SSN card. Okay, next one, payslip, and the next one, graduation certificate, etc. These all the proofs also citizens should supply, citizens should provide as part of data collection. Citizens should supply all these proofs also as part of the data collection. For example, particular citizen birth certificate he did not submit. He forgot to bring the birth certificate today. Then what will happen is, here there will be a Apache Kafka topic. There will be a Kafka topic will be available in our application. Apache people asked me to give the use case for the Kafka. Now observe carefully. Data collection is happening to collect the data from the citizens to apply for a plan. Data collection is happening to apply for plan. Now when the data collection is happening, citizens will provide the data. For the given data, citizens should provide some proofs also. Whatever the data citizens are providing, for citizen data, some proofs also should be there. For citizen data, some proofs also should be there. Are you getting my point? To prove that date of birth is correct, citizen should give the birth certificate. To prove that SSN number is correct, citizen should display the SSN card. Like how we have Aadhaar card, citizen should display SSN card also. To prove that the employment income is correct, citizen should submit the payslip. To prove that graduation is completed, citizen should show graduation certificate. Now, can you believe the data whatever citizen told, or you will believe the data by seeing the proof? Tell me, sir. Can we believe the data given by the citizens, or we need to believe the data by looking at the proof given by the citizen? By looking at the proof, we need to understand. Now, for example, one citizen came to the DHS office to apply for Medicare, 65 years age. He is telling that he is having above 65 years. But what is the proof? How can you understand that citizen is having above 65 years age? If he say that he is 70 years old, can you believe that he is 70 years and can you approve for the Medicare? No. You need to take the birth certificate and you need to verify the date of birth on the birth certificate. For example, this citizen came to DHS office without birth certificate. This citizen came to DHS office without birth certificate. Then what we need to do? Can you tell me? Can you tell me what we need to do? That person did not get the birth certificate. In this scenario, when the data collection is happening, when the citizen forgot to bring the birth certificate, DC module will send a message to Kafka topic. DC module will send a message to Kafka topic. Now, there is a listener for the Kafka topic. for our Kafka topic. We can say that this is one Java program which is going to act as a Kafka listener. There is one Java program which is acting as Kafka listener. Kafka listener. Whenever DC module send a message to the Kafka topic regarding missing documentation topic, that means Kafka, Apache Kafka. In the Apache Kafka, I have created one topic called missing docs topic. This is my Apache Kafka. In this Apache Kafka, I have created one topic called missing docs topic. Missing docs topic. What is the meaning of a missing docs topic? If a customer, if citizen did not submit any certificate or any document that is required, then DC module is going to send a message to the Kafka topic called missing the docs topic. Now, missing doc topic listener, Kafka listener for missing doc topic, missing docs topic listener. Okay, what is the meaning of missing doc topic listener? Whenever a message comes to the missing doc topic listener, whenever a message comes to missing doc topic in the Kafka, this listener will be listening to that and it is going to subscribe to that message. It is going to subscribe to that message and it will send a notice to the citizen. Please submit your birth certificate within 3 days, otherwise your eligibility will be stopped. Now here, action we are going to do. Action. So now, can I say that this Java program is doing the action based on the topic message? If a message comes to the Kafka topic, then only my listener is going to execute. If a message comes to the Kafka topic, then only my listener is going to execute. Can I say it is working based on observable design pattern? Yeah guys, now are you